All right, we are going to talk about color and contrast in this video. So we have our color wheel here, but right now it's gray, and that's not what a color wheel looks like. We are going to start with these primary colors. They're listed right over here. The primary colors, if I drag my arrow off, I'm actually going to make them a little bit smaller. Primary colors are going to be these circles. This one's facing the wrong direction because the last circle's over here. So you can just click on this front part, drag it all the way back, and it'll flip it the other direction for you. Goes right here. Our primary colors are these circles. Primary is the first level color. You have to have it to make all the rest of the colors. There are 3 of them. Hopefully you have heard about these before. They are red, blue, and yellow. I'm going to actually stretch this guy out a little bit so yellow actually fits in there. There we go, yellow. Red, I can actually go up here to this fill color. It looks like a little paint bucket that's spilling out some color. So I've clicked on this box, or this circle right here. Click here, I can click the red. And then I can go here and click the blue. I'm going to double click my font here, click the A, change that to white so I can actually, oh, I think that worked. There we go, now it worked. I don't know what that was about. And the last one is yellow. So those are my 3 primary colors, my red, my blue, and my yellow. I can fill those in. Go ahead and pause me while you finish filling those in, and unpause me when you are ready to talk about the secondary colors. All right, secondary colors, as you might have guessed, are the other ones that are left on our little wheel here. These are going to be these squares. We don't have to change this label anymore, and we don't actually need that arrow. These squares, now they can't just be put on anywhere. The secondary colors are made by mixing 2 primaries together. So when you put them on the color wheel, they have to sit in between, connected with those lines, to the other colors that make them. So when I mix red and blue together, what color do I get? That's right, purple. Again, I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so it fits. I can go up over here, click my purple. There, now I have my purple. I'm going to do the same thing I did with the blue and change the color of my letters using that little A up here. And then I can click this guy over here. What does red and yellow make when they mix together? Exactly, it makes an orange. I'm going to make that a little bigger. Orange, click from my list right here. And that means the last color, blue and yellow made together, or mixed together, makes green. And I can go up over here, green. So there, I have filled in my 6-color color wheel. I have my circles as my primaries, my squares / rectangles as my secondaries. All my colors fit on there. Once we have this color wheel, then you can start playing with different groupings of colors. So go ahead and finish filling in your color wheel. Pause me when you're ready to move on to our color schemes down here. Then you can unpause me. Okay, I'm actually going to start over here with our monochromatic color scheme. Monochromatic is a fancy word. It's really long, but it's not that complicated. Mono means 1. Chroma means color. So a monochromatic color scheme just means a color scheme made of 1 colors. So you'll have different varying values, but you're going to pick 1 color. Doesn't matter which one it is, but you're going to fill them in with different values of the same color in this line. So you're just going to go up and down here. Each of those is monochromatic. So you could do, if I click back on this, I could have done monochromatic reds and just done this row right here, or this column right here. I could do monochromatic greens, that's this column right here. Monochromatic blues actually have like 2 columns you could work through. Oops, undo. I didn't mean to do that. So this right here, using all of those colors, I could even take this background color and change that to be, I don't think I used that one yet. Ta-da! So now the puff is also, the little cloud puff behind it, is also part of the color scheme. Go ahead and fill in your monochromatic color scheme if you have not already. Pause me and unpause when you are ready for complementary color pairs. Okay, so complementary color pairs. It shows you a circle and a square. We talked about circles and squares. So we're going to fill in the circles with the same colors that we talked about above, right? So, not orange, yellow. Okay, so our red, our blue, and our yellow are our colors. We can go through and do the same thing where we that is not what I pressed. There we go. Where we go through and change the colors so that they look like what they do up there. Okay, so now it's telling me a complementary color pair is when I match a primary color with a secondary color, because that's what those squares are. But how do I know which secondary color? Because there's 3 of them. Can I match them to any secondary color? No, that would be silly. That wouldn't make sense. There's a specific way of doing it, and that way is that you look across the color wheel from it. So if I'm starting up here, I go straight across. Oh, I hit green. So green is the complementary color pair of red. So when I use red and green together, that's when I'm using a complementary color pair. And yes, I do know that there is a holiday that uses red and green together. The next one is blue. What color is across from blue? Orange, exactly. So orange is the complementary color pair of blue. So when you use these two, like Syracuse colors, those are going to be a complementary color pair. That leaves the last pair of yellow and purple. Blue. There we go. That is our complementary color pair of yellow and purple together. All right, and that's all we have to do for our color notes. We're ready to move on to contrast. If you are still filling that in, pause me, and then when you are done, unpause me, and we'll go on to contrast. And we've got on to contrast. Okay, so this one, contrast, I think I mentioned it before, it's 2 opposites. You're looking at 2 opposite things that are the polar opposite of each other. So like north and south, those are opposite directions, right? You probably have done something like in English class, like contrast and contradictions. Again, it's just things that have to do with 2 things that are opposite. So you're comparing 2 things. So that's why over here we have all of these terms with a little v, meaning versus. So big versus little, green versus red. We are going to arrange them into these different categories. So when you are comparing size, what are opposite sizes if we go through this list over here? Is big versus little an opposite size? Yeah, it totally is. I can drag that one right here. Is white or is red versus green an opposite size? No. How about white versus black? Nope. Circle versus blob? Definitely not. A silhouette versus a box? No way. Tall versus short? Oh, you betcha. How about high versus low? Yeah. All right, and now we're going to look for colors. Red versus green. Are those contrasting colors? Yes, they are. We literally just did that. How about white versus black? That's the very lightest value compared to the very darkest value, and those also are colors as well. How about a circle versus a blob? That's going to be shape. A silhouette versus a box? That's also going to be shape. Front versus the back? That's also going to be placement. And I just realized, guys, guess what? I made a mistake. High versus low, because it is kind of a size thing. It's actually more about where you place it. So this one belongs over here. I made an oops. But that's okay. It's an easy fix. And those are our notes for today. So go ahead and close out of this and we can move on to the next activity.